e-commerce expansion myths blasted. Successful cross-border expansion help. Listen to the show to hear how one UK company is helping e-commerce sellers successfully expand into Europe and double their profits. Hosted by Andy Hooper of Global E-Commerce Experts.
Welcome and thank you very much for joining us. Whether you're joining us on the webinar or whether you're joining us on Facebook Live, thank you very much for joining us. We are going to be doing a webinar. I think it was pitched as translations, but I've slightly tweaked the title for slow sales in Germany, France, Italy and Spain. And we'll get to the translation part in a moment. Basically, in a nutshell, if you're struggling for sales in any of those countries but doing quite well in the UK, or certainly selling more in the UK, then this is probably definitely for you. So, hi, I'm Andy Hooper. I am today's presenter. This is part of our webinar series of the Successful EU Expansion. So there's a webinar every week, and we're basically doing everything we can to help our sellers to expand successfully into the EU. I'm from Global E-Commerce Experts. There is a room for chatting options if you have some comments or questions in our translation box. So please put that in, or a translation in our chat box, I should say. Let me open that so I can see it as well. That would probably be useful. So I've got that there. And on Facebook Live, if you want to add a comment, then we will be able to comment back. But also, if you are watching this Facebook Live recorded, then we will be able to answer those at a later date on there as well. And that's in the GEE Expanders Facebook group. All right, that's enough about me. So the agenda, we're going to talk about expansion, EU markets, why you might have slow sales, how to automate some, talking about automatic listings, translations, and then the options, and then any difference it might make. So that's going to be the agenda. I'm going to try and whiz through this in 10 to 15 minutes maximum. But if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. So a key part of what we do here is about helping you to successfully expand. We have a 6-step process, a 6-step guide, and a pathway in order to help you. So our pathway of compliance, marketplace, launch, promote, website, EU and fulfillment is all part of us helping you to succeed in your expansion. Now, where we come into with translations or slow EU sales is somewhere in the middle, and depending on where you're up to is going to depend on what that looks like. So, okay, here we are. Here's the different markets. Well, we've got the UK. So the UK is probably where the majority of our sellers send their products into, and therefore that's probably where they focus the majority of their efforts. The other thing is that most of our clients are based in the States, so actually the English to English translation works relatively straightforward. I guess there's a few differences, but overall it's essentially the same language, which is absolutely critical. Now, what we actually see is that people have slower sales in Germany, France, Italy, and Spain marketplaces. There's probably for a number of reasons. So if you're experiencing that you've got those slower sales, then there's probably a pretty good reason. The UK and Germany are about the same in market share and market size. Now, depending on your product, it will depend on the percentage. But if you take the UK as 100, Germany should be about 80% of that, without a shadow of a doubt. France is about 50%, and Spain and Italy is somewhere beneath that. But you're really looking for Germany to either be 100% and UK at 80%, or vice versa. And that really is dependent on product. So if you're not seeing that Germany, between Germany and France, they should be easily at the same value as what your UK sales are. If you're not seeing that, then there's some really key, simple things you can do to make it strike. So here's the main reasons. The reason for your slow sales are your keywords, your listings, enhanced brand content or A+, depending on where you look at the moment, or on your pictures. But they've all got one thing, not one thing, one thing. For those on Facebook Live, there is a presentation, and it turns out that all of one thing in common is when it should actually be thing. So apologies for that. Now, that's pretty much the main reason. Your keywords, your listings, they're just not matching up. the back end content, the front end content, what people are searching for, it's just not the same, and you need to do some work on that. And they've all got one thing in common: the translations. All right. So look, here is a .co.uk based listing. I should have apologies. I should have hidden the brand name for this in case you're wanting to go and look at it. But this is an English. This is a .co.uk listing. And for those that are on Facebook, I'm going to read it out. Certain companies, a registered trademark, promises providing all customers with high quality products. Compatible brand for Apple, blah, 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 blah. Made of soft TPU, which is safe and protective, lightweight. It will gives your phone a special and fashion look. It is durable and can well anti-dust scratches. Product package 1, case, tempered glass screen protector for free. We will always try our best to provide you the best customer service. If you have any questions about your order, please kindly feel free to send us email. We usually answer within 24 hours, thanks. Now, what you can't see on the Facebook is that the commas and the full stops are all in the wrong places. There's no gaps between them. A UK-based, English-based person is going to look at that listing and go, that is not English. I'm moving on, not interested. So what you got to think about here is, if we're looking at this from an English perspective to an English listing, what does it look like for your listing when you translate it? All right, and that's absolutely crucial for you to be able to see. So, translations. What you will find that when you are, let's say, Amazon, most of our clients have got products on their Amazon store. So what Amazon will do once you launch products is they will automatically translate it in their listing, in their country, in that marketplace. What you're going to see or get is what you've just seen. All right. Now you can auto translate these things, but it's just not that great. All right. So there's a few steps you can go through to make that better. And there's 3 options. So here we can see the first option is absolutely free. There is no reason whatsoever that you shouldn't use it. So Google Translate, it's an amazing tool. You can use it on your phone. And the best thing I like about the phone is that it actually can do it while you talk to it. So you can talk to it and it'll give you the answer, which I really love. But there we go. So conversation. Okay, so here's the conversation. We want to go from English. We need to change the settings. Okay, you see where I'm going from. You can even do it in words. All right. Now, here we've just done a screenshot. Free translation is a very basic requirement on every single listing. So basically, go to Google Translate. Google Translate is probably the best free translation service that you can use that's free and of a decent standard. So when you first launch your products, every listing needs at least a Google Translate. Simple. It's literally as simple as that. It's free. It just takes a bit of your time. Now, that's for the listing, but you also need to do that for the enhanced brand content. You need to do that for the keywords. You need to do that for everything that's in that language. Okay. Now, there are 2 further steps. Now, when you first launch, your free translate is perfect. The second step is a native tongue translation. Now, really, you want to be doing this certainly with your top 10 products in the first 1 to 2 months at the very latest. Okay, and you're looking to get it done by local people in that country that speak English as well. You don't want to be getting people that just do half and half. Someone that does Mexican Spanish, someone that does, Canadian French. You need someone in France that's an English translator. You need someone in Spain that's a Spanish translator. What you can't have is half and half. You're just going to get no better than Google Translate. So it's really key that you basically get some human native tongue translations, and you need to do at least your top 10 products. Now, once you've done that, you can then move on to a later date to doing your full sales and marketing copy. Now, we would suggest doing this once the listing gets to 5 figures. if your listing isn't at 5 figures, you're only eking out the extra 10%. So, it's not going to make a massive difference. And that's why you need to do that at a later stage. It's a much bigger investment, and that's why we recommend doing it then. Okay, so what's the difference? Well, the first thing is brand consistency. If you want your brand to come across in a certain way, then you have to do that in every single thing you do. And that includes your enhanced brand content. It has to be native tongue. You need to be able to understand it. You need to be able to develop your brand in each marketplace. Because if you can't develop your brand in that marketplace, it's never going to develop momentum. All right. And it will help you stand out, because if they're looking at 2 listings and one has got, poor German in it and one's perfect German, that's what you need to do. Now, I hear what you're saying. Well, actually, Andy, what difference does it actually make? So here's the differences that we see based on the data we get. If you do a free translation at the very least, you will see a 25% increase in the people taking up your products in those countries. Free translation, 25%. I mean, that's bonkers. So that's the first thing to say. The second thing, native tongue translation. We'll see an increase of 30 to 40% on your sales. Now, the full sales and marketing one will see 50% increase. So that's like a 10% difference between native tongue and the additional. But you're looking to do that much further down the line. The native tongue translation is very simple, very easy, and an absolute must do, okay? Absolutely crucial going forward. So they're the 3 things. That's what we see. Translations make a difference. You need to get your listings translated, and the easiest way of doing that is by doing it for free. Yeah. Once you've done the free and you've started seeing momentum, you need to get your top 10 products done too. But in a nutshell, if you're seeing good sales in the UK, but not a lot in the rest of Europe, it's because of your translations, and you need to get them translated. Free translation with Google Translate. Go do it for every listing. Your native tongue translations, you need to do that in the first 6 weeks ideally, and you need to basically do it at least for your top 10 products. Contact us if you need any help or support with that, and we'd love to help you. That's it from me. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us and listening in. And I look forward to talking to you on the next webinar next week. Thank you very much.